What happened when your judgmental relatives finally saw what you actually do for a living? My family always treated me like I was the disappointment. While my cousins became lawyers and doctors, I became a janitor at the county hospital. 23 years old with a mop and bucket. Every Thanksgiving, same routine. My uncle Roger would ask when I was getting a real job. My aunt Linda would make comments about wasted potential. My cousin Brandon would talk about his new Mercedes while I drove a beat-up Honda. Still pushing that mop around? Roger said last year, laughing into his wine glass. When are you gonna do something with your life? I just smiled and changed the subject. They had no idea what my job actually involved. See, I wasn't just mopping floors. I was part of the hospital's hazmat response team. The people who clean up after the really bad stuff. Infectious disease outbreaks, biohazard spills, the kind of messes that could kill you if you don't know what you're doing. I had certifications in chemical safety, bloodborne pathogens, and emergency decontamination. I'd been through more training than most of my relatives had for their fancy office jobs, but they saw the uniform and assumed I was just some guy with a bucket. Then March happened. The hospital had this massive emergency, some kind of chemical spill in the research wing. 16 people exposed. The whole floor had to be evacuated and sealed off. My phone rang at 2 in the morning. It was my supervisor. "We need you here now. Full hazmat protocol. This is bad." I was there in 20 minutes, suited up in my protective gear, oxygen tank on my back, looking like I was about to walk on the moon. The research wing was chaos, scientists panicking, security trying to control the situation, and this toxic chemical spreading through the ventilation system. My team spent 11 hours decontaminating that entire floor. We had to neutralize the chemical, remove contaminated materials, and test every surface to make sure it was safe. One wrong move and people could die. I was the team lead. I made the calls on what stayed and what got destroyed. I coordinated with the fire department and the CDC. I was the one who finally cleared the floor as safe. The hospital threw this big ceremony a month later. They were giving out awards to everyone who responded to the emergency. The local news was there. The mayor showed up. My mom invited the whole family. She was so excited. Kept saying they needed to see me get recognized. I told her not to make a big deal about it, but she insisted. So there I was, standing on stage in my dress uniform while the hospital director read off my credentials and achievements. They showed photos of the hazmat response, videos of me in full gear directing my team. "This man and his team prevented what could have been a catastrophic event," the director said. "Without their expertise, we could have lost lives. He's a hero." I looked out into the audience and saw my family's faces. Uncle Roger's mouth was hanging open. Aunt Linda looked confused. Brandon was staring like he'd never seen me before. After the ceremony, Roger walked up to me real slow. He didn't say anything at first, just stood there looking at the medal they'd given me. "You never told us," he finally said. "All this time, we thought you were just cleaning floors." "I am cleaning floors," I told him. "I'm just really good at it." My cousin Brandon shook my hand. Actually, shook it. First time he'd ever done that. "That gear you were wearing in those photos," he said. "That's the stuff they use for nuclear disasters, right?" "Sometimes," I said. "Depends on the situation." Aunt Linda hugged me, started crying and apologizing for every mean thing she'd ever said. I told her it was fine. I'd never needed their approval anyway. But here's the best part. Uncle Roger pulled me aside before they left. "My firm's opening a new medical building next year," he said. "We're gonna need someone to head up safety and sanitation. You interested?" I thought about it for maybe 2 seconds. Then I smiled. "Thanks, but I'm good where I am. My hospital needs me." His face fell. He genuinely looked hurt, like he just realized I didn't need him or his connections. I went back to work Monday morning. Same mop, same bucket, same uniform. But now when I walked through those hospital halls, I walked different because I finally understood something my relatives never would. The value of your work isn't measured by how much money you make or how impressive your job title sounds. It's measured by the lives you save when nobody's watching.